lot of people made fun of Trump supporters when they said, but Gorsuch, do you remember that? When Gorsuch was the only appointment to the Supreme Court, there was Gorsuch, there was Kavanaugh, now there's Amy Coney Barrett. I mean, that's an amazing, consequential one-term presidency. That is an amazing consequential one-term presidency. But, the Catholics and the Jews, the Orthodox Jews in New York, sued Cuomo, saying that it was unfair that he was locking them down when he wasn't locking secular businesses down. John Roberts disagreed because some of the restrictions were dialed back. And so John Roberts said, well, the relief that they're asking for has already been given, so there's no point in siding with the Jews and the Catholics for freedom of religion. That's where John Roberts is. So John Roberts is a genuine waste of space at this point, because that is an indefensible decision. That's an indefensible decision. But Gorsuch went after these guys. He overturned these lockdown rules. And I just want to read you just a little bit of Gorsuch. So when they say to you, but Gorsuch, here it is, because he made that kind of crazy decision about sexual discrimination, where he said, yes, this applies to transgender people. It was absurd. However, he says, government is not free to disregard the First Amendment in times of crisis. At a minimum, that amendment prohibits government officials from treating religious exercises worse than comparable secular activities unless they are pursuing a compelling interest and using the least restrictive means available. Okay, he says the restrictions that Cuomo put on apply even to the largest cathedrals and synagogues, which ordinarily hold hundreds, and the restrictions apply no matter what precautions are taken. However, the governor says, according to the governor, it may be unsafe to go to church, but it is always fine to pick up another bottle of wine, shop for a new bike, or spend the afternoon exploring your distal points and meridians. Who knew public health would so perfectly align with secular convenience? This is really tough stuff. He says, it is past time, to make plain that while the pandemic poses many grave challenges, there is no world in which the Constitution tolerates color-coded executive edicts that reopen liquor stores and bike shops, but shutter churches, synagogues, and mosques. And here is Cuomo's reaction, cut 6.
You have a different court. And I think that was the statement that the court was making. So I would agree with those people who say it's a different court, and they wanted to make the statement that it's a different court. And that's the statement they're making. I understand that. And that's to be expected. I mean, we know who he appointed to the court. We know their ideology.
Cry more, cry more. So the press reported this as the court overturned Cuomo's lockdown of churches for the safety of all good citizens. But that's not what they said. What they said was, you cannot penalize religion when you haven't penalized liquor stores, bike shops, all of the secular things that New York wants to keep open. I mean, what's happening here in California, the same thing, is they've gone crazy on these lockdowns. I do not believe these lockdowns are necessary. I read somewhere in Japan, more people have killed themselves than have died of the flu because of the lockdowns. That's the kind of thing that's happening. It's a one-point system where all they're thinking about is the flu. This court is a great legacy that Trump leaves behind. The fact that when they go into Israel, they're dealing to the Middle East now, and they try to restore that Iranian deal. The Middle East is not the Middle East that Obama left, which was on fire. It is a new Middle East where there's a chance of peace. That's going to change things. This may be the most consequential one-term presidency in history. I do not want to see Trump hand the media a victory on the way out. I don't want to see this lying, dog-faced pony soldier media get one right. Just like a stopped clock, they get one right because Trump won't back down. That's what I'm worried about. That is what I'm worried about. And again, my mind is open, but what I've seen so far shows me that they haven't got the goods to take into court. That's the answer.